presents Free Friday webinars. My name is Shelly Sanchez Terrell, and I am your hostess. Every Friday we are here. I think it's been 7 years, so that's really wonderful. We're here because AmericanTESOL.com. We have 30-minute webinars. You can find all the recordings on our YouTube channel if you go to user ATESOL, ATESOL. So you'll find all of these resources. And if you go to AmericanTESOL.com/blogger. We host these for free because they're part of our online and also face-to-face certification courses, which are recognized worldwide. So you can bring friends, anyone can come along, and you can enjoy this great professional development opportunity. I'm going to go ahead and switch to a picture now, okay? And you can find today's resources if you go to shellyterrell.com/syllabus. I actually just updated this resource, so you'll be able to find many more ideas as they come along. But I want to show you some of the ideas to make your, not only to help you create a syllabus. Syllabus is really important. It's a blueprint on how your course is run. So if you think of learning as a journey, which it should be in our classes, then it's important to give our students paths to let them see the map of that journey. So a syllabus works that way. It's that map to the journey of learning. And what students are able to do is to be able to see kind of like sort of, the adventures they can go on, the different paths. There's not necessarily one path, but there can be a good syllabus will have many different paths and show many different outcomes or different learning experiences that they can have. Much like hiking trails, you can choose difficult and all these other types. So I'm going to show you how you can use technology to be able to create your syllabus. What are the different things you should have within a syllabus, and also how to make it interactive, how to make it engaging, how to make sure your students actually read the syllabus as well. And Peggy George is right. Harry Wong has so much incredible advice for teachers and their teaching careers. There's actually tons of Harry Wong quotes that I would love to use in different webinars. I could probably do a whole post on some of his inspiring quotes for teachers. So one of the ideas is with the syllabus, and I'll show you a template in a little bit, is one idea is for you to actually collaborate with students on the content of the syllabus. So sometimes with our courses, we can actually have all the content laid out, we have the curriculum laid out, but oftentimes it's really good to consider not doing so much of that this year. I know for me, it takes a lot of time to be able to do all of that. But if we allow our students to be able to, if we just put like a skeleton, and a skeleton is like a framework, sort of like an outline, the objectives we need to cover, what are the things, the learning objectives we need to cover, the books, things like that are part of our curriculum. But we can also make it more dynamic by letting students contribute to the syllabus, make it a little bit more flexible. So they can also suggest ways that they like to learn best. So for example, we can put different topics. For example, if we're teaching animals, or we're teaching, science, or even math concepts. The first math concept we're going to teach is geometry. Then we're going to go into algebraic expressions. Well, there's tons of ways to learn that. We can learn through geometry. Maybe they want to do some drawings and shapes and shape exploration. Maybe for algebra, they want to actually do online quizzes or games. So there's so many options out there that we don't necessarily need to detail every single option. We can give some wiggle room for students to decide, even if it's just one lesson, one topic, even if it's something like the writing prompts. And that all comes from pedagogy and instructional theory based on pedagogy. Pedagogy, you can find the whole entire handbook if you go to pedagogy.org. And you can find a lot of information on that. So here's a syllabus that you can actually copy and adapt. You can use this for Microsoft Word. This is actually on Google Docs. You can make a copy. It's bit.ly/dig syllabus copy. And this is the template I'm going to use to explain a lot of the ideas that are in this type of document. So for this one, it already has a really nice layout for you. It's one of the best ones that I thought and found that I really liked a lot. And so what you can, the parts of a syllabus is, of course, the title of your course. What is the section number? Because a lot of times if they do have an online place where they have to access, then you can put a link to that access. So for example, I use Canvas, but let's say you use Moodle, then you would want to link where it says 101 bio here, you would want to link that. Sometimes they have to go on an online site to be able to access their grades. So you want to put the term of fall 2017. I just found out I'm going to have a full course load of college freshmen, so I'm really excited about that. I actually start August 29th. So for each syllabus, I will actually include a link to that particular section. And you can include links. So the great thing is if you do this online with Google Docs, or even if you do this as a Microsoft Word document and leave it as something they can download, then you're able to create those links so that way they understand where to go. And so linking within syllabus is really important to be able to help students navigate, be able to find tutorials, more resources, be able to go to the actual, if there's an online component and you're doing blended learning, or like I'm doing blended learning, I have classroom instruction, but then I also have where they access their course and they turn in their course materials within our Canvas. So it's important that they're able to have links to the different areas so they can turn in their work correctly and they can get it the appropriate place. You also want to consider, of course, a course of description. That's part of a lot of a syllabus as well. You can use a comic instead to illustrate the course description. I'll show you some ideas and where you can find things like that. Course objectives, having a few bullet points where you're letting students know what they're learning in this. A lot of these you can actually, or you probably already have written down somewhere, and you can just copy and paste it. The other is, and Peggy George just put in the link, and you are welcome to adapt this and edit this any way you want. You don't even have to put my name on it. You can just do whatever you want. You can change this from green to gray, I mean from blue to gray, whatever you want. You can put your own heading and everything. Whatever their requirements are. Sometimes they have, here in this area, you can put prerequisite classes they're supposed to have, or you could put requirements such as the books that they need. You can put any kind of you can, yeah, exactly. So like Peggy George said, many universities provide a lot of these details, or even high schools and even elementaries have these details already, so that way you just copy and paste a lot of these things. Or you have in several Word documents that you've prepared in the past where you can copy and paste sometimes they'll give you like they'll give you a list of instructions and things like that. A list of, also they'll also give you in the student handbook. And one great thing about Google Docs is if you take a picture, even if you don't have the actual document, if you take a picture of any kind of text document and you upload that and open it as a Google Doc, it automatically translates it to where you can copy and paste the words. So it's really, really cool, something that I do quite a bit. Even if you just take a picture of what it is inside the code of conduct, if you upload that, even though it's a pic, a JPEG or a PNG, you can just open it as a Google Doc and it automatically has the words for you to adapt. So you can add whatever's in the your code of conduct or the student handbook, you can copy and paste easily onto here. Also, if they give you, for example, a lot of schools will give you different types of school supplies lists that students are supposed to get for your class. You can take a picture of that, upload it, and then just the same thing, copy and paste in those sections. Here is where you can have the different types of weeks and what, you can even add themes. You can put the dates. Here I have my dates listed here. Well, some proposed dates. Here I have, for example, where you can also have the instructor email, how to get a hold of you, office hours if you have office hours, or you can put all of this for the parents as well. You can also put any kind of, like, for example, any of the class accounts. So if you have a Twitter account, a Pinterest account, a Remind 101 account, a Bunsy account, anything like that, you can add there. And then you have the different weeks. You can put under the week what the themes are. Here you can have a list of quick bullet points and then add links to what that particular document is, where that forum is, whatever you want to link to, you can add links to. So that's really important, and you can do whatever you want with this syllabus, but at least it gives you a template. So one of the main ways that you can make this more dynamic as well is you can translate that particular document there, and you can make it into an infographic. So there's a lot of free tools for making infographics. Pictochart actually has a syllabus template. It's not free, that particular item, but you can easily just create a free one on Pictochart. You can also use Infogram, Canva. I think Canva might have a syllabus that is free, a syllabus template that is free for you to use. Genially, Visme, Adioma, Google Draw, Smore, any of these, Venngage and Easily are all different types of web tools to create your syllabus into an infographic. So this is what it kind of looks like, because you might say, okay, well, that sounds really good, but what does that actually look like? So I'm going to show you a few examples here. This is one of my favorite ones. This one is actually an English course one, and so I think it's great. So here you can see it's English. It has the same kind of features here. You have, for example, Miss Knight. She has the class section, the times. She has the course goals, and they're like this. These can be clickable as well. So when you make it into a syllabus, you make it very clickable as well. She has a pie chart that says how grades are distributed, and then she also has like her different policies. What is her policy on makeup work? What is her policy? What are the materials for the course and stuff like that. So you can make it very visual. This is great, especially for language learners. Language learners need visuals. It helps them understand things. Laying it out inside an infographic also is brain friendly. It's easier for the brain to remember what are the rules, what are the objectives, what are the goals. Because it's laid out in a brain friendly way. It's like little nuggets of information versus a whole document full of a bunch of text. This is actually with colors, it's sectioned off, and so it's easier for the brain to process. You can see quite a few ideas here, different ones. Here's one where it's just going straight like that. In my post, if you look at the different, in this particular post, Teacher Bootcamp, you can see a link to different types of syllabus as well, including the links to this one. So I'm going to make the screen a little bit smaller again. And then we're going to go to this one. So there's actually a really great, on the Pictochart blog, there's a really great a resource on how to make, and it walks you through the process of how to create an infographic syllabus with Pictochart. This is what the Pictochart template looks like. If you do happen to have the version that allows this, then you can easily just put in your name, and I mean, it has it all for you. It has the links, everything, and then you just add it in, so it doesn't take that long at all to do. The visualcommunicationguide.com has one of the best examples, I think, of his course syllabus. This is what it looks like. It's so super cool. What I like about this particular one, which is kind of interesting, is that this particular syllabus is for a course on designing infographics. So it's a infographic syllabus about a course on designing infographics. But he has his objectives clearly outlined. He has little icons. The great thing is those infographic sites that I shared earlier, they have icons. You can change the icon to whatever you want. So you don't have to spend tons of time doing this. You can look at other examples, follow their templates and formats, and then just make it to where it adjusts and fits to your particular class. And don't forget to include links, because on Pictochart and Infogram, all of those, you're able to add links as well. This is what the Northern Lit community has their infographic look like. The one thing I do want to note is, notice how on this particular one, he has it in black and white. One reason that's really good is because if students do want the option to be able to print it out, then they don't have to use colored ink. It looks good when they print it out as well. You don't want to make them too long. You want the infographic to be only about, two. Usually infographic is a very long document, but you can make it into like 3 pages. I would say, 2 or 3 pages for a syllabus. If you can just keep it to that, preferably 2, is probably the best idea. So here's another example of another syllabus you can use as well. That's based, and I wanted to give you tons of different examples so that way you have options for your course. Here, the particular professor does the course goals and students' outcomes, adds a little snippet about plagiarism and academic integrity. Here's a particularly good website as well. You can see here one. It's for writing, multimedia writing course. And on this one, in this particular blog post, it tells you step by step how to create a course syllabus and provides examples. Not all the examples on here are still relevant because this was made in 2014, but they do have some good examples. Here's one for an actual language course. I really like this one a lot. You can see here all kinds of graphs, supplies, there's links to it. So this one's very colorful. This would be very kid friendly. So the other ones are more like for adults and there's a lot more text. But if you were teaching maybe, even high beginners or even intermediate language learners, then a syllabus like this would work out perfectly. They'd be able to take a look and be able to click on the different icons and be able to read the text and understand as well. And here you can see they have the social media sites that they will be using as well. So if your class is linked to Instagram or anything like that, you can put it. You can do a syllabus as a sketch note. So you can do, if you're into sketchnoting, well, then you can have fun sketchnoting your syllabus. What does that look like? Well, I actually found a really good example for Concordia University, and you can see how it's different than having one that is an infographic. So they're kind of similar, and the idea here with both of these is to make your syllabus more visual. You can also make this clickable. So the thing with the Sketchnote is that when you use when you use different types of web apps to create your Sketchnote, let's say that you don't want to do it on paper. Let's say you do it on a tablet. Well, you can use Paper 53, you can use Adobe Illustrator and Draw. There's tons of ways to do that. If you want to make it clickable, like Peggy George's list inside the chat box, then just simply use ThingLink. ThingLink is a great way to upload your Sketchnote and to add links to take them to somewhere else. With all of these, when you add links and you make it interactive, you can also, that's considered the way if you want to make it more engaging, and put it and when you link it to Google Docs with the lesson plans and everything. That's you can make it into a hyperdoc. Your syllabus can be more like hyperdoc. And I'll show you what that is in a bit. But I did want to show give you time to be able to look at what um, um, this particular uh, sketch note looks like. You see the course design, the instructor's policy. Um, Goals the process and evaluation. So you do get different, it's sort of like an infographic, except it's a sketch note. So you can make it engaging and clickable like a hyperdoc. If you don't know what a hyperdoc is, there's several resources on how to look at, on what hyperdocs are. There's actually a book out of hyperdocs. And so I actually got this image by Carly Mora. One and Hyperdocs are actually named and created by Lisa Highfield, Kelly Hilton, and Sarah Landis, who have a book about it. Now, I found this particular image that Carly Mora made at teachwithtech.weebly.com. And this was a really, really good way to be able to see what it means to make your syllabus into a hyperdoc. So it's not only having links. Yes, you want links so that way students can be able to click on and be able to go to their lessons and stuff. But also, for it to be considered a hyperdoc, students are able to also collaborate with each other. So if you link to, for example, the online forum, or ways that students can group, things like that, or little cards. Maybe you can click to cards like when they do group with each other. You can have cards where it shows their roles and responsibility. One of them is a leader. One of them is a note taker. One of them is an editor. One of them makes sure the lesson plan, the lesson and project is uploaded and turned in. So that would make it into a hyperdoc to support that collaboration. You can have where they also have where they can really show what they know as well. It says here another piece of is that students reflect upon their learning. So you can have, of course, where they can click on and they can access their blog. They could have a blog, or they can also do, for example, reflection in an interactive notebook. And there's also hyperdocs on how, in hyperdoc, that what it means is it's linked within Google Docs. So hyperdocs usually refers to Google Docs. And in here they connect, students connect what they have learned to other subject areas as well. And so this kind of graphic gives you how you can make it a really engaging syllabus and what to hyperlink it to, so that it's more than just a bunch of URLs they click on where they find more information, but actually they can do things where they go into the links. And Peggy George is providing lots of great examples of what of different types of hyperdocs you can access, actually. And then, so you can actually gamify your syllabus as well. I've done that with one of my syllabus. If you've taken one of my online courses, you might see where I've used terms that are related to playing a game. So for this one, creating a e-textbook, instead of calling them tasks, I say, okay, each week you have a mission to complete. And that's all part of my my approach to mission-minded learning, something I talk about in my upcoming book, which will be published in September. I'm super excited. It just got approved, all the edits and everything. So we're just finishing up, but each lesson has a mission card and things like that. So I like to call each task or even homework mission instead of an assignment or task. And that way they're going on a learning mission. This is the mission they're supposed to accomplish.